Welcome to the Gamer Code Podcast, the show where we talk about all the latest updates in your favorite games and rant about all the problems that go along with it. Today we are talking about the big C, coronavirus, and how it has affected
Coronavirus.
our gaming world. Because there has been a lot of serious effects on the world, some good, a lot bad, and that's what we're gonna. How do y'all feel?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Let's get a first impression on how each have been independently affected by Corona.
Oh fuck! I'll go last.
I have crippling depression.
I'll go last on this one.
Dude, it's
It's been rough.
just as a whole, it's been a roller coaster of stress. Just work
Seriously.
combined with work, and then but that's not part of the topic. But that's just Corona, I guess, in general. Just the roller coaster of work, and then streaming of the roller coaster that it's had, because it's definitely been a roller coaster of good and bad. What about you, Brett?
For sure. You know, yeah, I'd say when COVID hit, I should have streamed more and should have gotten into more of my content, like releasing and all that, but I don't know.
I mean, yeah, a lot of us had more time than ever to make content, but in the beginning of COVID, I was grinding on that content train, and now it's just I'm kind of fizzling off with burnout.
Oh yeah. See, I think it was the same thing for me, where at the start of everything, when everybody was off work, I was really pumped about it. I was like, yeah, there's going to be watching content, and
more people to play with.
That was actually my first original thought.
Also on the flip side, if we go the flip side of that, there's more people that are out of work, so more people are thinking, hey, I could probably make a little extra money on the side by streaming the games that I'm playing.
Oh yeah, and I saw...
So the competition went up as well as viewership.
Oh, yeah. I saw a small increase in my personal viewership first half. Then kind of dropped off the board there. A lot of that was probably due to me.
The first few months of COVID, I probably saw my best viewership ever. Like, because I'm not gonna say I'm a high-end streamer at all, because right now my average is like 4 to 5.
But
when I was doing, what's up? Yeah, I'm pro streamer, bro. Pro streamer. But see, hard drive right there on the wall means pro streamer. But when during the beginning of COVID, like March and April of last year, I was doing 15, 20 viewers at time. And that was native viewers. That was like new people, because I was just screwing around in DCS and just people just popping in.
Oh yeah, you get a lot of viewers.
Because I just
was DCS.
Not anymore, but
wow. You're not regularly.
Yeah, that's called crippling depression and being exhausted all the time.
I feel that. Yeah.
Dude, I work so much now, because now that COVID's fizzling off, I work 40 plus hours a week on call 2 of those nights. Like Tuesday and Wednesday nights, I work 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. and then get woken up at 1 a.m. because there's a medevac flying in. And then I have to be at the airport in 20 minutes to meet the plane.
Yeah.
All right, GP, how has the Rona affected you?
Well, I mean, I was working as a paramedic from day one of COVID, so I have been there from the start to finish. I contracted COVID, so I got it back in December, and it was before COVID was like really a thing, so I was just dealing with it myself.
Yeah, what's funny is I think I might have
December 19.
December 19. Yeah, I caught it in December 19 because I was working the U.S.-Mexico border in San Diego. And so there was a significant amount of pass through, and I think I caught it from somebody there, which I made it through, but I did all right. I'm 99% sure I got it. I never got a check because shortly after that, I went on the COVID strike team at my company, and so I was deployed for 82 different days, and I was able to build up my stream setup, build PCs, build a bunch of different things. So it actually benefited me. Unfortunately, the way I word it is a little bad, but I was able to help out people, and I went all over California helping out with COVID.
Yeah,
But it definitely pulled away from some gaming time.
Yeah, it definitely missed you while you were gone, but we're glad you're
appreciate
back.
you.
We appreciate you. But
Shit.
yeah, I feel you on the, I'm pretty sure like
We
I think it was
appreciate
like
you and all the frontline workers, honestly.
Oh yeah.
November and December. I think I
know.
caught it working at the airport because I was down for the count for like a month, just coughing and felt like I was dead.
Yeah.
And then right after I moved to Spokane, boom, COVID.
Jeez.
I mean, at least you got the
So-
move out of the way.
Oh
But
yeah,
I
I got the
wanna ask
move
you
out
guys-
before
Yeah,
COVID.
you definitely
yeah.
lucked out on that. You definitely lucked out on that move.
Yeah.
So what I want to ask you guys is, now that COVID is kind of, I want to say, going to be a prevalent thing for the next couple years, do you think that more game developers are going to be switching their games to more like time-based games rather than just kind of like more and more content based out there?
I
Or like
don't think
creating more games?
the game developers aren't going to change up their games very much. Gaming's going to be gaming. You're going to still have your niche markets. You're going to have your Call of Duties, you're going to have your World of Warcraft, you're going to have your League of Legends, you're going to have your American Truck Simulators. Gaming is gaming. I don't think that's going to change very much. The development portion of it might change because of social distancing and whatnot until we're
They'll
able
put-
to.
That's what I was gonna
Well, I
say.
guess
I
that's
think
what I
if
meant.
anything,
Until
it's going to
Yeah,
be
the
more
development.
difficult for developers to.
It's going to be
actually
more
put out
difficult
games.
for them to make it because they can't get together. Everything's going to be on a Discord or Zoom call.
This is an interesting topic for a little bit later. First, I want to talk about some of the stats of coronavirus in the gaming community. And as of March of 2020, there was an increase of approximately 75% more active players across the board, all console.
Yeah, I totally see that.
In
Well,
addition to that,
people-
around the same time, there was a 23% increase in all video games.
Well, right. That's just, video games for a lot of people are stress relievers.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And when this stuff for like first hit, you guys, at least for me, it was kind of interesting. It was like, this shit's gonna go crazy, and like you were more like checking in with your friends and your family, and like seeing how everyone is doing, and I don't know, just yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely see that increase in gaming. Just because for me, the start of COVID, I gamed a metric ton because there was nothing else to do. It was either Netflix or gaming. If I wasn't at work, because I was still working, I was one of the very few blessed with being essential. I work at an airport.
Blessed.
Dude,
Blessing and
I
a curse.
literally blessing the curse because I was very lucky with where I work. I didn't have to do shit for like months because the airport was dead, but airport's still open.
Right.
So I only worked 3 days a week and Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then Tuesday through Friday, I was just vibing.
That's good.
And
Hell yeah.
so gaming, I totally see the 75% increase because I gamed a lot more than I do. Because once I went back to full time, my gaming went from all the time to almost never.
Yeah. So,
Dude, it's because I'm just so tired.
oh yeah, definitely feel that. And so I want to take a second to talk about the games that likely only got big because of this, such as
Among Us.
the first one. Well, yeah, Among Us, of course, and Animal Crossing, I believe, was one because more people were sitting at home and A lot of people
I
buying
think Animal
Switches.
Crossing popped off in the beginning. Yeah.
It
Oh,
popped
yeah.
off. It popped off just before COVID hit. I know that it popped off just before COVID hit, and then as COVID hit, and it was quarantines weren't hitting quite as hard, it was starting to blow up a little bit more.
And
Just
Among
because it's
Us.
definitely a good time killer. Personally, don't play it, but
And
Never
Among Us
played it.
becoming a huge game. I never played it either. I refuse to let my wife play it either. But I don't want her getting addicted to it. Like I see all over TikTok. We saw a huge increase in Among Us. It became a really interesting game for us to play, which I think kind of played a big role in our time off during the virus pandemic because it allowed us to together with a bunch of friends, and it's so rare. You know, regular gamers know it's so rare that you can find times where you get 4 or 5, maybe 6 people to game all at the same time, and you know,
getting
during
10 people and still having more people wanting to play.
yeah,
Like if someone drops off, let me know.
yeah, that was such an awesome thing, and honestly, I think that's something that helped us. That helped a lot of people through, you know, this pandemic and a good chunk of the
Oh
pandemic.
yeah, playing with Zuko and everyone.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah.
That was some good times. I kind of want, like, as bad as it is, I do kind of want to go back to those days because that was some fun time.
Oh, it was amazing. My
I
my
do miss
sister and
those
my
vibes.
wife and Bretsky and I, we all got to play Among Us. Really,
Oh,
really
you guys played
fun.
the other night? Fresh invite.
Oh yeah.
In my Discord.
True.
Dude, I have like 100 Discords that I'm a part of, so I
Sorry that
only
you don't
have
check
2
your Discord.
unmuted. I have this one unmuted and mine. This Discord and my Discord are the only Discords that I don't have muted.
You're
So,
working 40+ hours a week, I see.
You
one
have
top-
my Snapchat. Snapchat me like, yo, Among Us. I'll be like, okay, bet, or I'm working. Be there in 5 hours.
Well, the thing is, like, now I know your work schedule, so it's easy
okay.
for me. This has actually been a really frequent thing for me. Is like now I know your work schedule, and so I know when to not to invite you to games.
True.
One thing is, do you guys feel like when COVID hit, I don't think it really affected a lot of people because everybody was kind of expecting like a week, a 2 week like quarantine. But as it went on, did more of your friends that weren't into gaming as much per se reach out to you for more advanced topics about
yeah.
gaming?
Oh yeah.
Because
definitely.
I personally feel like when I first started, like I was always like a big gamer. Like I started playing games when I was like 5 years old. I remember sitting down my dad's Super Nintendo, and from there on, I've always been like
Yeah, I've always been a
PCs and
gamer.
PlayStations and Xboxes and like the latest and greatest and playing games, and then got into streaming and like enjoyed it. But then like as COVID went on, I noticed a lot more of my friends that weren't super into gaming were reaching out to me about things like what games to get, what are some new games coming out, what's gaming culture, you know. And then on the flip side, I also noticed, because as a PC gamer and somebody who did build my own PC, a lot more people were reaching out to me about building PCs.
Oh yeah,
I
100%.
I definitely noticed that there was a significant increase in people trying to build their own PCs. Like
Yeah,
people
one of
were
my
reaching-
friends, I had a full-on video call in teaching my friend how to build a computer. Like they called me on like a Snapchat video call, and I helped them build their computer because they bought all
You
the
gotta
parts.
do that for me one of these days.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Chris,
can you
down.
gotta build
I'm
my
always,
computer.
I'm always down, but like I just noticed that like a lot more like people were reaching out to me for things like, you know, help with their computers, help with their games, trying to get into
Oh, yeah.
gaming a little bit like in a more detailed sense of like wanting to expand into gaming, wanting to expand even into Twitch. Like I noticed some people that didn't stream before were like, hey, what's Twitch like? And I understand the cultural shift, because now all of a sudden it was like everybody is like shifting into,
Oh,
you know,
Twitch.
there's like gaming and streaming, and like people understand like, you know, like, and I think what it did is it also expanded, because before it was just like the meta game, for lack of a better term, of like, you know, somebody would be like, oh, I'm super into Among Us. Oh, I'm super into Fortnite. Oh, I'm super into Call of Duty. And now people I think we're discovering, like, if you go into the Steam store, there's some games that aren't even that popular, that people were like, wow, and I think that helped us.
That's
with,
how
like,
Among Us popped
Yeah,
off.
like-
Is
Oh,
some
yeah.
big streamer found it in the deep depths of Steam,
Like, hey,
and
this is
that's
really
how Among
cool.
Us popped off.
Oh yeah, and I definitely had a personal involvement with that, specifically with my sister, who is not a gamer. I don't think she had touched a controller since PlayStation 1. And when COVID hit, her husband was trying to get her to
I
play
missed
on
Crash
PC
Bandicoot on the
and
PS1.
right. But she started getting into Among Us, and now she's starting to get into this kind of field of gaming and all that. And kind of funny to see someone who I never thought would ever ask me to play a video game start messaging me on Discord to game.
Same with my
yeah.
sister, though. Same with my sister. Like when COVID first hit, she was stuck at home and she was bored, and I was
Oh, didn't you find her a Switch in,
I
in
spent
Animal
days-
Crossing?
Yeah, I spent days trying to find her. Me and her spent days trying to track down a Switch, and she's like she didn't understand like the idea behind a scalper. Like she was legit about to drop like $500-600 on an
Oof.
Animal Crossing themed
Hell no.
Nintendo Switch, and I
Like what?
I mean, but I mean, like, did scalpers really did the scalpers profit off of COVID by taking advantage of people
Oh yes.
Oh,
that
yeah.
weren't typically
there was
gamers
a-
before?
There was a lot of
Oh, yeah.
people that took advantage of the system. I mean,
That the scalpers always will. It will never stop. But they really had everyone's balls clutched
Oh yeah.
with that, because like COVID, and one of the later topics that we're going to be talking about is scalpers and graphics cards and PS5s from
Yeah.
the last launch. That's later topic. Not going to
Yeah,
get
let's not
super
get
into
into
it
that
right this second.
just yet.
But they've had everyone with COVID. They've had everyone by the balls.
Oh yeah, but looking at some more of the statistics, we actually need to give a little hats off to Call of Duty for a moment, because right at the start of this, they decided they're going to make Warzone its own independent game, and they made it free to play. And so during COVID, when they did that, they saw a rise from 30 million active players to 75 million active
Jesus
players
fuck.
That's a lot
over
of
the
players.
span of
what was
COVID.
That's a
the?
lot of people.
That's a lot. But what was the amount of active players playing Fortnite when that game was really popping? That's
a
what I
good
wanna know.
question. Actually, I don't remember the
I
statistics
can
on that
let
one.
me see if I can pull up some
But-
statistics between.
While you're doing that, that was I think it's kind of interesting to see adding on to new people getting into gaming and everything. Look at the individual statistics for different games and how many people started playing more games. FIFA saw a 200% increase in players during their second fiscal quarter, and right in the middle of COVID. NBA 2K saw an 82% increase, and the Steam platform saw records of peak statistics in 21% more games purchased and 50% more hours played.
Wow.
Ooh.
Talk about an increase in sales. I mean, now,
Gaming in
do you
general.
think that with all these new, well, I mean, I guess it's not new sales because it's been about a year since COVID hit now. Like, do you think that they're going to be creating more, I should say, better created games and more,
Honestly, I
involvement?
think on the
Or more
contrary,
involving.
we won't see too much
I
of a
can't wait,
change from the
but
big
yeah.
developers, but what we will see is, honestly, I think a lot of people are going to start getting into the more independent jobs, something like things people can do from home, games like Disk Space,
Mhm.
that someone, simple games like that people can make by themselves.
That was such a fun game. We need
span
to
of a
we need to
year.
play some Disc Space again.
And so I think we'll start seeing more games like that where people are independently making their own games. That could lead to some very interesting gaming.
I agree.
Yeah, most
That'd
definitely.
be fun. Can't wait.
Do
Most definitely.
we have any Fortnite systems pulled up yet?
I'm working on trying to get it. It's kind of difficult to get the statistics here. Being a little
All right, let
But
me
Well,
do
let's
some searching here.
let's
But
just
no, I
push
got
into
it.
our next topic here.
Yeah, you keep going. I can multitask here.
So here is the big baddie of the day, Cyberpunk 2077. This game was delayed 3 times throughout the year and was still unfinished.
Years. Don't.
Well, just this year or last year now, but it was delayed 3 times, and they released an unfinished product.
Definitely.
Well, yes
and no.
So
That
yes
came
and
from
no.
a
They
lot of
released a great game. They released, in my opinion, a great story, a unique story that we've never really seen before. A good game. I thought it was decent. Where everybody's saying it was unfinished was the glitches, and I understand behind the glitches, like the issues and the maintaining of the game was not the greatest. They definitely had to like release some patches and they had to release some stuff. But at the
okay, I
same
gotta.
time, I think that they released a good game. I thought it was a
100%.
good story driven game. As somebody who played it for 24 hours straight,
I was
thought it
there.
was a good.
unless you
I thought
played
was a
it
good
on
game.
the last gen consoles. And
I
so
played
this
on
is
PC.
this yeah, exactly. This is the thing I'm kind of curious about is this game was made for the new consoles. It was not made
Yeah.
for the last gens. So I'm kind of curious to see if this is the start of developers struggling more to create games through COVID, or if this was just the fact that this game
100%.
shouldn't have come out yet, or and
Well, here's the
it's-
thing with that though. One, COVID, so
Yeah.
they had a harder time testing. Two, they were receiving death threats to release it. They were getting hundreds of death threats saying, "Release this, or we're gonna kill your family."
that's the other thing I want to talk about is the outcry from the fans to release it, and people
Because
wanted it
everyone
so
was like,
bad,
"Release it,
but
release it, release it! Stop postponing it." So they're like, "Fine,
right
here. If we can't make you happy, here." And then we're like, "Why'd you release it? It's broken." And we're like, "Well, you fucking told us to release it."
Yeah, and so that's kind of curious is we see this kind of awful combination of the outcry from fans and developers struggling to make games during COVID. And I honestly think that this game probably just shouldn't have been released on the last gen. Honestly, it should have come out sometime mid this year.
Well, it's
and
because
been
they
a new
promised it would be
console
on
game.
the OGs.
Yeah, of course.
Because when they
sales.
initially announced it, well, it's not even more sales. It's the fact that when they initially announced it, they said, "Oh yeah, it's going to be on the Xbox and the Xbox One and the PS4."
Right.
That's how when they announced it, it's going to be on that. So they had to keep that promise. But with technological advances, we're like, well, shit. That's the PS5 and the Xbox One S,
that's what I'm
XS
saying
or whatever.
is the last gen consoles were not ready to handle this game, and no one could even get their hand on the new gen console. So even if they wanted to release it only as a next gen game, they couldn't. They would have next to no.
But the people people complaining about, like, it doesn't work on my Xbox One. Well, the Xbox One is 5 years old now on a brand new game. It was your console at this point is an afterthought because they wanted to make you feel included.
Yeah, it reminds me of the
stop complaining.
The days of GTA 5 on PS3.
Yeah.
Oh
right?
yeah.
That's a good comparison.
Or like when I had GTA 5, when I had my old gaming laptop, I got GTA 5 and I couldn't run it at all. It would not launch.
Yeah.
It says, "No, fuck you."
Yeah, I dealt with the same thing when the first time I ever got Subnautica. I was playing on my little $300 Acer computer, and my computer just said no. It was just like, no, dude. I don't know what the fuck you're thinking.
But the thing is that we understand that our hardware just wasn't wasn't able to keep up.
Yeah.
And like, my computer now, I've got a 1070 in it, and a 9th gen i7. The 9th gen i7 can still hold up, but a 1070, we're on the 3000 series now. I built this in 2018. I think. Yeah, 2018. I think.
So
Maybe
yeah,
beginning of end of 2018, beginning of 2019 is when I built this. I think it was tax return 2019.
All right.
So,
As far as Cyberpunk is concerned, do we want to talk about the elephant in the room?
oh
The
yeah,
the hack,
their hack.
the infamous
While
hack
while
of
we're
this
on
morning.
yeah, while we're on the topic of Cyberpunk, yeah, their hack.
So,
All right,
That's a
GP,
major
take the
oof.
lead
I
on
woke
this
up
one.
this morning. I had the Twitter alert of the Cyberpunk hack. So, to give a synopsis of it, essentially what had occurred was a hacker group infiltrated their servers. They stole a bunch of data and encrypted their servers. Their servers are now back. They've recovered it using their recovery system. So good for them. I thought they were fast on that. However, the big thing is the hackers claim to have defamatory
Defa- yeah.
information about CD Projekt Red and the developer and some of their business dealings. And now the question arises is what are those business dealings? How will it affect? And they're also threatening to release the source code for not only uh, Cyberpunk, but they're also threatening Witcher and their other releases.
So
On
I was
that,
reading into.
wasn't The Witcher just bought by Microsoft?
They still
I
have
don't
the
know.
source code link somewhere.
Curious about that.
Yeah, I don't know about The Witcher and Microsoft. I haven't heard anything about that honestly, but I was reading into CD Projekt Red's response, and they were saying they're like, yeah, we understand that they got our shit, but we're not gonna fall for it. They're not saying they're gonna fall for it, but they're like, if they release something, they release it. We're not going to what's
Negotiate.
the word?
Oh,
We're
yeah.
not going to negotiate with terrorists.
I think the big question there is, for a while their PlayStation had taken Cyberpunk off the store. Have they put it back up yet? What's the news on that? Is anybody?
Why did they do that?
Because it was broken.
Yeah,
and
because
so
of
bad.
because of
PlayStation.
how bad the graphics were functioning on the PS4, PlayStation took it off their store and refunded or offered refunds to anybody who had bought a copy for the PlayStation because of how bad it ran.
Yeah, because
You
Because
couldn't play it.
100% Cyberpunk.
$70
It
for
was
a game
a
that doesn't work.
yeah, it was an 8-bit game on a PS4. It was horrendous.
Yeah, because the consoles definitely needed some work on that, but
they weren't
but
ready.
it wasn't it wasn't especially wasn't ready for console release. It was pretty darn smooth on PC. There were some glitches, obviously. There were some graphical
the graphics
glitches.
looked pretty good on PC.
Oh, looked amazing on PC.
It definitely
Like,
on PC.
yeah, and then
on console,
people
it
who
reminded me of the days of Tomb Raider on PlayStation 1.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
it definitely looked like.
Take me back, bro. Jeez.
But back to the topic of their hack is like, I personally I don't like. Obviously, CD Projekt Red has a reason to be worried, but I think they're handling it well. Of like, well, so either with their response that they've at least publicly released at this point as of 10:48 February 9th Pacific Standard Time 2021. But sorry, that was a cluster. But they are like, yeah, they caught us. We're not gonna deal with them. We're not gonna negotiate with them. We're not gonna talk to them. If they got it and they're threatening to release something and they release something, they release it. They
And
leak
it's
it.
nice that they gave an update to the people saying like none of your guys' data got leaked, like in all of this. Like, don't worry about that. Like, they just leaked. They got our shit. They didn't get your shit. Don't worry.
Well, that's the thing is, yeah, well, that's what they were going after was the source code for the games. But honestly, I could ask whether or not the company doesn't care about the source code and whether or not they end up releasing it or not. I'm kind of curious about what it is that the company was trying to hide, and if they're this confident about letting these hackers do what they want, not backing
So
down. to
either they
them,
could
then
have something defamatory on them, or it could have been just a haha, we found something defamatory just for to get them to pay them money. It could be just a
something small
Could
that
be
they're
a
just like,
breach.
it just could be a Hail Mary to get them to get CD Projekt Red to panic.
Yeah.
It could either be something big, and they're double dipping. CD Projekt Red is double dipping and paying people off to hush them up, or they didn't do anything, and
Just a
the
blanket.
hackers are just like, "Hey, we got something dirty on you. Give us $5 million, and then we won't release it." Or they're not going to, or they don't have anything. It was just a what? I can't even think of the word right now, dude.
well, I think that gives us a nice little time to slide on over to our next topic. An interesting one because it's relevant to everybody, the gaming community, and scalping of GPUs, consoles, going as far as the Nintendo Switch. It's been a
Graphics
struggle.
cards, CPUs,
Graphics cards.
Everything. Every damn thing.
Yeah, everything
hardware.
electronic. Every big release that has happened in the last year and 2 months
has been ruined by
scalpers.
by piece of shit people.
What is it? The
Pers-
most recently known as the most people scalping the 3090. Is it?
It's
Or
all of
30.
them. It's all the 30.
All of them?
all the 30 series, all the PlayStations, all the Xboxes. And personally, I have my Xbox One over there is a hand me down from my dad because he got a One X last year. It's our original Xbox One because I play mainly PC. He's like, my dad was like, "Hey, want an Xbox?" We're like, "Sure, I'll take it."
What's kind of interesting is actually Walmart being a big key factor in that, having absolutely no security upon the release of the PS5.
Oh yeah, and
None.
Nvidia having no security on the release of the graphics card. And so now there's a lot of I think it's Best Buy now is the exclusive for a lot of graphics cards.
Does Best
You
Buy
can't
have
get it.
security?
Oh, they have great. They have some good bot protection. And that's why Best Buy is the exclusive now, is you can only get Founders Edition cards through Best Buy now.
Here's the
Because at least in the United States, it's Best Buy is one of, I think, the only place you can get certain graphics cards because
Best Buy sponsor us.
Best Buy sponsor me. No. Where's
But,
where is it? But no.
the big thing I want to talk about is specifically with the PS5, and when the PS5, or previous to the PS5 being released, I did a lot of research into what the PS5 was going to be able to do, and honestly, I looked at it, and even as a full-time streamer, I said, I don't need that upon release. I can wait until I'm comfortable with the amount of money I'm spending on it. And even now, I'm really not super enthusiastic about finding one. And so I think it's kind of interesting to think about the fact that scalpers are going and charging $1,700 on eBay for PS5s. And I think that's just ridiculous. I'm curious as to how many people are actually trying to get a PS5 and they want it so badly that they'd be willing to pay that. And honestly, I don't think
There's people out there with
I mean,
Well,
outside of
ridiculous.
outside of big
people
streamers.
that are gamers, though? That's the question. Is it gamers or is it people
No.
that don't know better that are
Yeah.
just in the
I
game?
think
They don't know. It's people
I
who
think
don't
I think
know.
it's 100% it's taking advantage of the people who don't know better, because of the
Yeah.
gamers who really want to play it, they'll wait because they have their PS4. They already have something to bide their time. It's the reason why I haven't bought a
Yeah.
new graphics card. One, I'm broke. Two, I have a functional computer that does 99% of the stuff that I want to do. Sure, it'd be great to have a 3080 or 3070 to do to have a higher frame rate, be able to use the new NVENC encoder so I can single stream or single PC stream better. And not advertising War of the Worlds over here, but I found the DVD
But
on my
that was
desk.
kind of what I was curious about. What I was going to ask specifically GP and IC about was whether or not you guys feel the same way or similarly, about the 30 series. I do the PS5.
Yeah, personally, yeah, I'm definitely when I do come around to the time of buying a new graphics card, um, I'm not gonna spend scalper prices, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
I know the worth, and it's not a 3070 or a 3060 is not worth $1,700. They're $300 to $400, if that. They are MSRP. This is all I'm gonna pay if it's on sale from Best Buy and I get a really good deal. Fuck yeah. But I'm not gonna spend scalper prices. I've got
So
a functional card.
as of lately, I've been looking to build a new PC, and what I've came to the conclusion of recently is because I'm running a first gen Ryzen, I'm running an old motherboard. So what I've decided, and I've been like on the fence about it, and I've discussed it, I know, at great length with you guys, is that I had a very specific image in my head of what I wanted my PC to look like. Aesthetics to me on a PC are one of the big things, and I wanted to do an all white PC build. I want it to be all white. I want
Arctic
it to,
Thunder.
yeah, Arctic Thunder. But what I
That'd be a cool
want,
name.
but what I
Probably
already
been used, but
but what I wanted to do was build an all white PC. But looking at scalper prices is tough. So what I've had to do recently is there's a website, and I don't want to really throw it out there, but there is a website where a guy runs his own bot service. But what he does is he runs the bots, acquires all this, but then just resells it at MSRP and makes no profit. Now,
The unsung
he's botting the
heroes.
botters.
Yeah.
the botters to just for chaos, and I've been looking at buying through him. He doesn't unfortunately have any white graphics cards available right now. However, he does have Ryzen CPUs available, and I've been like every day I look at it, I go, fuck, I really should just do it. And I'm really on the fence about just buying a white motherboard, buying my fucking CPU, and just slapping it in there and slapping, because I've got a 2070 Super. That's gonna do well no matter what. But I slap my 2070 Super in there for a temporary card, and then eventually I can build up to the build that I want when the cards become available.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. And I
That's
mean, I wouldn't knock you for it because the world is a crazy place right now. So
Yeah.
obviously, it's not going to look the way you want it right out the gate. Shit, it took me. I built my initial computer in 2015, and there's still some parts that I have saved
Well, I mean,
in this
actually,
computer.
what's funny is I gave GP the opposite of. I said, you have a vision, don't settle.
It would not be, but in my opinion, that's not
The only
settling.
thing the only thing that would be
No,
off with
that's not
his would be the
settling.
graphics card.
That's yeah. I was gonna
Basically, he would
say,
have all the parts that he would need except for the graphics card.
And then if I had the money and a graphics card came available, I could just swing up, pick it up, and
It
get
takes
my
2
work.
seconds to swap out a graphics card.
Well,
Yeah. So I think I've came to the conclusion of buying all the parts that I want except for the graphics card, slapping them onto a build, and then having just a black graphics card that'll be out of place, but I'll
White on
have
black, to be honest, though, white on black doesn't look bad. So it's not
no.
like it's
And I
a
mean, you can even
paint graphics card.
I could paint it,
Yeah,
but
you could totally paint it if you wanted to.
but
People
that
pull the shroud off and paint it.
no.
Bet.
So I think the big question is, when are we going to see scalpers ruining hardware?
Never.
Like, what can these places do to help even a little?
The only thing that they could
more
do,
bot protection.
more bot protection, but the only thing they could do, and it would be unfortunate for most people, is in-person sales. That'd be the only way to ever completely stop it. Is you can't buy graphics cards online anymore. You have to buy them in person, because
But the thing is,
as a
with that,
bot,
there's
well,
I could
that's
create
to
15
stop the
accounts.
botting of. That's to stop the botting though, but in order for them to stop the in-person scalping, they're gonna have to basically screw over 90% of the population and make whatever product they're selling not for resale.
So there's always going to be scalping, 100%, because look at, like, if we're ever able to go back to sports games, tickets for the Padres or whatever your team is, and you don't have a
Everybody's
ticket
struggling
and
to
you
get Padres tickets.
yeah, well, everyone's so struggling to get Padres
They're
tickets right now.
struggling now.
But like
well, they're
there's
struggling
always going to be
like 5
scalpers
tickets
for
now.
every single thing. There's always going to be scalpers, and it's never going to be foolproof. But what companies can do, at least for the online sales, because you have to have online sales. Because
Yeah,
especially
Amazon exists. All it is online. Other than Seattle, they've got their weird
have a
walk-in
bookstore
stores
here.
for groceries.
I have a bookstore here.
And okay, apparently they have a bookstore in Southern California, but there's always going to be online sales, so they're going to have to do like email verification and like make sure you're yeah, sponsor us Coca-Cola and Jack Daniels. But yeah, it's like they're going to have more email verification, anti-bot software. It's not going to be 100% foolproof because people are going to make their bots better.
of course.
But like limit two, because there's going to be still people who want to do SLI, so you can't just limit one. You're going to have to limit two, or limit one per 48 hours.
At least just limit like 4. That's it.
So like
No, 4
too
would you're
much.
still
Yeah.
4 is too much.
Or too
2
much.
because of SLI builds and dual graphics cards builds.
well,
Yeah,
and
4 way
also,
too much. There's no point.
Also, I'd say it's the same. My wife has an
Oh,
Xbox
yeah.
360. I still have a PS. Or
Yeah, there's 2 console households. I mean, there's 2 Xboxes in my apartment now. Cause my roommate, he's got his Xbox One.
but
And
I
when
think what
my old
I'm
roommate was
trying
here,
to
his
get at
Xbox and
is,
PS4.
are we, are we ever gonna finally develop and
Eventually, yeah.
software fast enough for people to actually get lives in 38?
Eventually,
Yeah,
there's a lot more in the back end that I think we realize that takes to build these softwares to be strong enough to go, oh, that's a bot, and go deny the account. That, or like I know some companies have been like, once the order, they don't ship out the order until they contact the purchaser and verify that they're an actual person. I think some graphic, I don't remember which one, but I remember reading online is they were letting orders in and then they were contacting all of the people, just sending them an email to get a reply. If they didn't get the reply that they needed, they would just cancel the order.
That's smart, actually.
Yeah, that's really smart. And you could do that, or like how Steam does. I mean, obviously, scalping isn't an issue with Steam, but they still don't want botters. They, make sure you have your account for so long. You can't do certain things unless you do certain things.
Yeah.
Like you can't add friends on Steam until you have at least you buy a game and have so many hours.
Verification. We
Yeah.
all need microchips.
Then we are going to be then we'll be the bots. You can't bot if everyone's a bot.
Exactly. You can't beat them, join them. All right. Coming to our closing thoughts, I want to ask all of us individually, our least favorite thing about COVID and the best thing that
about related to gaming or in general.
Well, gaming / our lives as gamers.
I
Well,
can say
TP knows my worst, but I'm not going to go into it. I mean, I think you all know about it, but I'm not going to go into it.
I think the worst as a gamer, I think the worst experience was just trying to get anything new and get into gaming, or like get into new games, because everybody was obsessed with gaming and everybody wants to play with you all of a sudden. And it's like my big thing were like friends that weren't big gamers before are now like big into gaming, and like we got really into playing Call of Duty together and all this stuff. But it's like I've been playing games forever. I have tons of games and tons of hours. Like, just let me play the other games. And like they're constantly like, let's play Call of Duty Warzone. Let's play Warzone. Let's play Warzone. It's like, guys, like I have like 1,000 other games, and I understand and I appreciate the fact that you guys are into games now, but I have other games that I want to play.
But
They
I want to play Forest with Icy.
yeah, I want to play the Forest, or I want to get on my VR headset, or I want to get on, or I want to
Speaking of,
play,
we should play Forest in VR
we should
in
play
a few
Forest in
days.
VR. But I think the biggest issue is like trying to get those friends to understand, like, hey, gaming isn't just one game; it's tons of games.
It's
And
not just the meta at the time.
I don't, yeah, I don't think, you know, my friends really didn't understand that, and they'd be like, "Well, why you play with other people?" And it's like, dude, I play tons of games, bro. Like I have a Steam library that's probably got 500 games in it. I've got other, and I probably got another 200 on other things. I probably got over 700 games. Like I'm gonna play them. I spend money on them. I'm gonna play them.
Oh yeah, I can definitely
Yeah.
relate to that, and not just on playing different games, but just on playing with different.
Oh yeah.
Brett can attest to this. We had, but before a lot of this, we had a huge squad for Call of Duty. So whenever I'm playing with somebody else or playing a different game, they're like, "Hey, like where the hell are you at? Why aren't you here?" Like playing
Yeah,
Call of
same
Duty.
with
Where
me.
are you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
same.
Like, and
Same.
that's why I also love, because another thing is like, even when you're not, like, you had your normal squad, but sometimes you just hang out with those people in Discord and just play different games. Like, a buddy of mine was playing like Assetto Corsa. I was playing DCS. Another friend was playing something else, Space Engineers. I don't know. We're all playing different games. We're all just vibing in Discord, chatting. That's another cool thing that Discord has done, is brought a lot of people together. Like,
Oh yeah.
I've made a lot of friends because of
Yep.
COVID and streaming. There's some community members of mine that, if I didn't stream, I wouldn't be friends with them. I wouldn't have those friends in my life, like Homeless and Biker and a couple other people that have popped into my stream, and now they're in my Discord, and now we all just bullshit.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Brett?
Friggin-
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, Dirt Biker sent me this, and it's a Rickroll.
That's awesome.
He Rickrolled me when he sent me some 3D printed stuff.
Rickrolled you via USB. That's amazing.
Dude, yeah. He sent me some 3D printed stuff for my flight gear, and then
Nice.
he's like, "Oh, there's a flash drive in there." I plug it in. It's a Rickroll. It's like a super long chain of, don't click this button, don't click this folder, don't click this. I told you. Open it up. It's a Rickroll. He's like, that was the most
That's pretty
expensive
good.
Rickroll I've ever done.
All right, Bretsky. Least favorite and favorite part.
I didn't really have any negative, like gaming downsides to gaming. But I'd say one of the positives is I got to like play and meet new friends, like Icy was saying, and
I was just gonna say that I think it definitely had an effect on you, where we're an essential work, and before COVID you were trying to start up stream, and honestly I think COVID hit and you couldn't stream at all because you were working 6 days.
I mean, yeah, that was an issue, but I mean, I wasn't an essential. I wasn't working. Yeah, I wasn't working in the grocery industry like when this shit first popped off. I worked like
not right at the beginning.
Probably about 6 months into COVID is when I started. I was just like, yeah, like.
But I would say
that's
the working in grocery industry and that influencing your move definitely told you a desire to stream.
Oh, there's a lot going on that like I had to kind of that took me away from streaming, but now that everything's kind of settled out, I'm more getting into starting my stream, creating. I mean, shit, the past 2 weeks I think I've streamed probably 5 times more,
More
than
than
I
you ever
have
have.
this past year. Yeah, like,
And
but
yeah,
All right, Icy. Do
yeah,
you,
that's what I
you
have
have
to say about
specifics?
it.
oh yeah. Well, like I said earlier, it was just the making more friends, and if like, well, Danny, you and I, we knew each other from work
Oh yeah,
years back in like
years ago.
2015. Yeah, back in 2015, we knew each
6
other from
years
work, and
ago,
we've
holy
kept in
shit.
touch because of you asking me random Geek Squad fucking questions of
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, how do I do? Because I helped you build your first, or
Tech
like
support.
at least spec out your first computer.
Oh yeah, and then has
And
given me
then
advice.
COVID hit,
every-
and then COVID hit, and now we're making a podcast.
Seriously.
Did you have any negatives specifically?
I mean,
Me?
actually, well,
No.
sorry, not to just to go back to one of the positives. I mean, I didn't know you guys that well before this shit happened.
If at all.
I don't think
mean,
I knew you. I
yeah.
don't think I knew you until COVID.
No, we knew each other before COVID.
Little bit.
I
Did
feel
we?
like.
In the way
Yeah.
that dominoids know each other.
Yeah, like,
To be honest,
I
I
mean,
didn't even know he worked at Domino's
was
at the
Scott
same
one of the,
time.
did Scott go to the beach that day we went with all the people in Santee that one day from that?
I was one
Yeah.
of the people who drove.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Brett, you went to the beach with us?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
So, like, oh
Fuck.
god.
All I remember
But,
is that Danny drove alone, and I drove everyone else because because he was the smoker, and everyone was like, "I don't want to be in that car," so I drove.
Yeah.
Shit.
Definitely been great
Okay.
Yeah,
having
so it's like the GP for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew.
No,
I don't
we
think I
definitely
No,
did.
yeah, definitely didn't know.
Yeah, I
until
don't
COVID.
think I knew GP before COVID. But like, yeah, there's a lot of people I didn't, you know what I mean, that I met through COVID. That's another positive. That was like,
Me personally, I as a full-time streamer have had mixed feelings all the way through. Because like we've previously stated, more people at home means more viewership and more potential for viewership. But it also means more competition. As the months went by, a lot of people are going, "Hey, still waiting on this stimulus. I want to be a streamer." And so I don't have any statistics on it, but definitely there's been a huge increase in the amount of
The stimulus paid. The first stimulus paid for this desk.
Computer.
Yeah, I'd say
Or graphics card.
mixed feelings across the
Or
board
this
for me.
computer.
Yeah, mixed feelings. Without getting too political, is just mixed
Oh, yeah.
feelings of how things could be handled compared to other countries. Like, so without getting super political into this, because this is a gaming podcast, not a political podcast.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not getting into politics here.
yeah, yeah.
All
no.
right, now it's time for the shameless plugs because I want to give myself some work while editing. I am Dantic Gaming over on Twitch. You can find me on Twitch and YouTube and TikTok. ICNSD.
I am Icy in SD over on Twitch and TikTok and YouTube. Yeah, I do have a YouTube. There isn't anything over there yet, other than old VODs. But Twitch.tv, all that, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that. You can find me over there for some shenanigans and
Damn, you got all
bullshittery.
the social media sites.
Dude, I have got all the social medias. Shit, subscribe to my OnlyFans.
All right, Kyle, growing pain, grow.
Growing Pain on Twitch, Growing Pain TTV, pretty much on everything else. Twitter, TikTok. Growing Pain on YouTube as well. I've got like one video out, but I really need to focus on games.
Oh yeah, that was a good video
And-
too.
Funny.
And I think I'm the most basic out of all you guys. You can just find me on Twitch,
Fredsky
Twitch
streams.
as Gretzky Streams, and YouTube. But there's nothing on there, like I see, because I don't have an editor.
I
or
have old
recorder.
VODs.
I don't have
and-
shit. Like I don't. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about my YouTube, but yeah, I'm gonna be streaming to Twitch more. Gretzky Streams.
Thank you all for tuning in to the Gamer Code podcast. If you want to check us out individually, check out the links in the description. We are amazing content creators.
And join our Discord. and
Yeah,
subscribe.
join the Discord.
Subscribe, like,
Subscribe to the YouTube.
comment,
Subscribe to my
all
OnlyFans.
that jazz. We want to hear some
Mm.
feedback.
We want to hear
Gotta
from
secure
you.
the
We want to
username, bro.
see you. Check us out.
All right. Catch you guys later. Bye.
But I really gotta poop.
Go poop.
I
Big
really
struggles.
gotta.
That coffee
I've had a
struggles.
poop since like half.